All right, so we just got back from dropping that load, coming back to Adel. I've been working on this. I don't think I mentioned that, but yeah, this is what I did for the week that we were waiting on Nate's title, which I wonder if it's here yet or not. Anyways, so we're moving the turbos. So I bought these turbo manifolds a long time ago. Lita's out there getting the food out of the truck and stuff, and I figured I'd run out here real fast and make sure these flanges that we bought. Anyways, we had these turbo manifolds, and two issues with these. The runners, or the I don't know what you call them. These tubes right here, watch out, bubbies, are too small, I feel like, for the turbos that we have and the engine that we have. The second downfall is they put the turbos down real low. They put them down so low. So basically you want to be able to feed oil into your turbo, and then for your turbo to be able to drain back down into the pan. Well, it put the turbo so low that the drain plug was down below the pan. So I come up with this pump, and what would happen would be that the turbos would drain, and then that pump would suck it back up and then feed it from that pump back into the pan. Anyways, I was always worried, like, I never ran the car like this, but I was always worried this pump would go out or something would happen with this pump. Then we'd end up, leaking either oil onto the track or possibly catching the car on fire. So a couple of months ago, I bought some stainless steel headers from a buddy of mine. Do I have them out? They might still be on this shelf. I see one. Oh, here's one of them. And these are just for a basic small block Ford, kind of do what you want with them kind of thing. But they're made to dump out the back of the car. But I wanted the turbos to be up. So I flipped the headers, I cut these flanges off, and I just got them tacked right here. And then after I got them on the car, this part of the headers used to come straight up. Well, the problem with that was hitting the hood. So I cut them and notched them. I notched both of them. And then I got them mounted on the car. And then the issue with that was one of these headers sticks out further than the other header. And no matter how I could come up with, I ordered 90s, I ordered all kinds of stuff to try to get the turbos at least the same length. I couldn't make it longer because it was pushing the turbo into the radiator. And I couldn't make them shorter just because I was unable to reroute the tubing in any kind of a way to make them work. So those are now basically scrap metal. I ended up cutting off the flanges and welding on 3-inch V-bands, flipped those over, couldn't get them to work. I always heard about people buying headers for an LS motor and then flipping them upside down and basically doing what I did with that. Well, I was able to get on eBay and I found these headers, which are for an LS motor, and they came with the turbo mounts already. And they're super close to being exactly what I needed. So this would hook up to this, and it would put the turbos, I can clock these turbos any way I want. And they're out pretty much the exact same spot, unless you get like a ruler out, and they're within like maybe a 1/2 inch. But the only problem with these is that is bolt pattern for an LS motor. So before we left, I ordered these new stainless flanges, which will bolt up to my heads. And they're pretty much the exact, an LS motor tube headers are pretty much the exact same distance as a small block Ford. If I can do this one-handed. The only thing that's different is the bolt pattern. Yeah, you can see they pretty much exactly line up. I mean, I might have to do a little bit of, no, I don't even really have to do any massaging. That's dead on the money right there. So I'm gonna cut these old flanges off. These. And then we're going to weld these new flanges on. So a lot of people complain that, not complain, they just want Mustang updates. So this is pretty much what I've been doing in the shop. As you can see, the shop, I don't know, it's kind of a mess. I did come out here. I've been having to deal with all of Nate's car crap, all the boxes with that. That's pretty much where we're at on the Mustang. And I'm kind of trying to determine where I need to put these turbos and where I want to put these turbos. I have to take off. I'll have to run manual brakes too, because that, after you put the brake on, that booster's in the way, which isn't an issue. We had manual brakes on the orange car. Yeah, that's pretty much the update. So I literally just stepped out of the truck. We just parked the truck. I got the dogs out. Went inside, seen that box sitting there. Said, shoot, I'm gonna go work on that thing right now while we still, not that daylight matters. Nate took Boss to his girlfriend's house, so I'll have to go over and pick Boss up. And we'll get these old ones cut off. One of these, this one here, is gonna have to be angled a little bit different, because when it comes off and the turbo gets mounted, it makes the turbo point inwards a little bit. So that's pretty much what's going on. All right, so I got the old flanges cut off of the headers here. Now when I ordered these, I couldn't find the exact size, and I kind of wanted these a little bit bigger, just so I'd have some room to play with. So I ran up to Harbor Freight and bought a, what do they call this? An exhaust extender? Exhaust pipe expander. And now what I'm doing is I'm expanding these to fit inside here so that the gap for welding isn't as crazy. The main issue I'm running into right now is this has a bend right here, which is stopping this from going down all the way. So I'm hoping, I was hoping expanding this thing would allow it to fit down there a little bit better, but it doesn't look like it's going to. So I'm gonna have to maybe massage on that pipe a little bit to get that to sit down a little bit more. And then I'm just gonna take this expander, and then expand these to fit the inside of this, and then I can TIG them up. All right, I think it's been a day since I talked to you guys. I had to order a few things. Oh, there's Cassie. All right, so pretty much what's happening is these pipes don't fit exactly inside of here. So I've just been tacking one side, and then I'll heat the other side up, and I'll take a ball peen hammer, and then I'll beat it over in order to get it to fit nice and snug. That header, I don't even want to show you. I end up having my leads hooked up wrong. I had my gun on my positive and the ground on the negative. And when you use gas with that thing, you're supposed to switch the polarities. This header has turned out a million times better. But I've got everything figured out now. I've got, because this engine doesn't sit perfectly level, I had to make this little spacer piece, and I end up having to cut that apart today and then cut about a 1/4 inch off of it. And now I've got to where the turbos will sit exactly level. And because they're snail shaped, they're not even from the inlet to the outside of the snail. So what I've done is I've made all the measurements from the inlet to be exactly the same from the fenders and exactly level from that point. Now, if you look at the snail part, it'll look like it's unlevel, but the inlets themselves will be absolutely perfect. So I got another welder coming in today. I didn't realize it when I bought this welder. I thought it was an AC DC welder, and it's only a DC welder. So I've been wondering why my aluminum welds have looked like crap too when I'm TIGging, and it's because that's a DC. So I have an AC DC TIG that should be in today, and then after we get the turbos mounted, I'm going to put V-bands on this and then onto the turbo because I don't like those rubber couplers. So tonight's Halloween. I know this video's probably a little late. Honestly, I just took the computer out of the truck today. I've just not been motivated at all to edit a video, but I got all my stuff imported. I'll probably work on one maybe tonight. I don't know about tonight, but Lita went uptown in her hearse today or yesterday to do some grocery shopping, and somebody left their business card on her car, and they asked if they could pay her to park her hearse in their yard for Halloween tonight. So someone's gonna give her $100 to park her hearse in their yard tonight just for Halloween. So that's awesome. Anyways, I'm gonna heat this up. You can see the gap that we have right now. I'll heat it up and beat it over, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like afterwards. All right, doesn't take but a second. There you go. I don't know if I told you guys, but I went to Harbor Freight and bought an exhaust expander, and it ended up breaking. So I don't know if it's because it's stainless steel. I did try to heat the tubes up before I used this a few times, and I don't know, man, that's just like some crappy Chinese pot metal. So, but yeah, we've got it nice and tightened up around the edges now. Now we can finish welding this up.
What's up?
All right. Good morning. It's been a little bit since I talked to you guys. We've got Nate's car loaded up. We got to go get it inspected today. Just want to apologize for basically no content. I don't have a full-time camera person, so I've done a lot without showing you guys. Oh, we had a deep freeze last night too. The shop is an absolute mess. So we ended up getting our new welder in. It's an ARC Captain 200P. Pretty good machine. Comes with the, well, it didn't come with the foot pedal. You have to buy the foot pedal separately. I set the welder up, set my foot pedal up for the first time, and before I even got to weld on it, I tripped over the cable and broke the cable. So now you kind of have to wiggle it, and man, the shop is an absolute mess. But I have been jamming hard on this car. I didn't show you guys a lot of stuff. The exhaust is completely done now though. Check it out. So there's our bullhorn exits. Turbos are mounted. All the exhaust is done. When I first started TIG welding, I've never TIG welded before. Like, seriously? And it was atrocious, man. The first day I went to bed, like, completely, like, I was disgusted with myself. It's probably some of the hardest things I've ever done. But after like 3 days, day one was absolutely terrible. Day two, I was like 300% better. It's like the more and more and more I TIG welded, the better and better I got. This is some of the last stuff that I ended up TIG welding. And I think it turned out pretty dang good, man. These come down off of the wastegate. But I think it turned out really, really good. So this is the exhaust now. We got our wastegates here. I had to redo my a bunch of my lines, my fuel lines, because this fuel pressure gauge and block used to sit right here where these tubes were, and then this used to sit right here where this turbo was. Luckily I had an extra hood, so I ended up buying this hood, and it was like a 1/4 inch short on both sides hitting the fender. I was like, man, how can I cut my hood to make this thing just absolutely perfect? So what I did was I cut those holes. I kind of tried to see what I could do by just measuring and see how close I could get. And I probably got okay. I mean, I think maybe most people would have been okay with how it turned out. But I wanted it absolutely perfect, so I cut the holes a little big, and then I took tape. I set this on, and then I took tape and put tape everywhere I wanted to leave the hood. Tape and paper. So I would just cut paper around where I wanted the turbos and stuff. And then I laid it on top of the real hood and made it absolutely perfect. Let me put this camera down. I'll put the head back. Oh, let me just show you. So basically, the exhaust comes out. And then this is a 180 that curls and goes underneath the fender. And as you can see, I put a V-band clamp here so that I can disconnect this and then pull that piece out. And basically it comes through and then down and then out the fender. Yes, I know. You love your daddy. Let me throw this hood on. I'll show you guys what it looks like with the hood on. All right, so there it is with the hood on. I've got it dang near perfect. It looks like I need to trim a little bit more, or I need to turn this V-clamp a little bit, and then it would clear. Check that out, though. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. I got to order a longer oil line, and I've got to do my drainage lines back to my oil pan still. The shop is an absolute mess. Nate's been in here working on his car. Oh my goodness, it's so bad in here. I've been in here jamming on this car. Anyways, we got to go today and get his car inspected. And then we're going to start looking for a load. I've been looking for a load. Come on, guys. Today is a Tuesday. I've been looking for a load since Thursday for Wednesday, and it is just absolutely terrible. All right. Yeah, that's the update on the Mustang, though. I'm super happy how it turned out. All right. Well, we've arrived at the place to get Nate's car. What's the word? I don't know. Anyways, I don't know if I mentioned this, but Nate's got another car and we've been working on it, because even after we get it inspected today, and even if it passes, it'll be another 2+ weeks before we get the other title in order to have this thing legal to drive. So we get this thing unloaded. Our appointment is in about 25 minutes, and hopefully she passes, man. I don't know why she wouldn't. All right, it is now it's now 4 o'clock. It didn't take them, but I don't know, they looked at the car for about 5 minutes and passed us, but I guess they're a little behind. So the car is ready. We had a load that was supposed to be picking up tomorrow, but I guess today being Veterans Day, they couldn't get the finances cleared for this forklift that we're going to be picking up going north of Atlanta. So we're probably going to have to pick it up Thursday. So anyways, we'll get this car loaded up, and then we have to go get, Nate bought the hood and the fender from a junkyard, and he needs a receipt with the VIN numbers that those came from. And then we have to mail everything off, and then they mail us the rebuilt title. Then he can start driving his car again. Oh, we brought Cassie with us too. Everybody in there loved you, didn't they? But I just kept snorting and snorting like a pig, and nobody could hear anything, so I had to put you back in the truck, huh? All right, let me load this car up, Babs.